Hello again, everybody. Episode 227 of Two Old Bucks. We got two in a row here, but not without trials and tribulations. I got to tell you, we've been struggling for 45 minutes, and
The
there two
trials and tribulations of old age, huh?
two words for that. We're old. Yes, I don't know.
Hello, Dave.
So how's Dal?
Uh, a lot of interesting stuff going on. So
Yeah. Hey, we said we would review some old topics. So let's briefly touch on crypto here at the beginning.
I remember crypto.
Remember crypto?
Oh yeah,
Remember Bitcoin? When
we laughed about that. We said, "Well, this isn't going to last long."
well, when we signed out in September, it was $116,000 for one Bitcoin. That peaked to 126,000 in October. It is now 63,000. That's down 44%. So, I mean, if you bought it for $10, you're still doing okay. But a lot of people got smoked here. And that's fine. That's the way it works. So
I have yet to figure out what it is. So
it's not the safe haven that people were touting it as. Okay, it is. So that's and a couple more crypto stats. Okay,
okay,
there was another coin that was introduced since we spoke last year, and that was the Trump coin. All right, the Trump coin is now down 99% to $1.46. So they had 990,000 investors, lost 3.8 billion. That's with a B. Of course, the Trump family made over 600 million in fees for that. And then there's World Liberty Financial, which is a digital lending platform set up by Trump's sons. Okay, it's only down 88% since last September. Investors on this one have lost 6 billion so far. So much for business acumen. So I go
that's
into
it.
crypto
Doesn't
with
seem
your
to bother
eyes
anybody.
very wide open. Yeah.
Anyhow, I can't afford crypto. I'm more worried about groceries and crypto. So
Yeah.
hey, what else did you sent me some? You said we got a little bit of feedback on
We did get
our
some
podcast.
feedback. Yeah, we could talk about that. We got some letters from afar. Oh, we got several welcome back notes that were real nice, just short notes saying, "Hey, thanks. Glad you're back among the living. You know, we can sleep better at night now. That sort of thing." I'm not making that up. uh, yeah. So
Well,
there.
I like to think we give people food for thought. I really do. And not only in our age group, maybe a couple of younger bucks will learn something because one day they will be old bucks. But uh, I'm happy to be talking to you all the time. We enjoy our company together. But I run into some stuff myself. I have concerns like about food safety now. I'm a little bit concerned about stuff like that. I'm concerned
Yeah.
about the what what is a definitive health issue. In other words, do we go by the advertising on television?
Hmm.
Do we go with our whatever our doctor was persuaded to tell us, or you know what I mean? I kind of lost faith or trust in that system of really what I should be doing. Kind of relied on the strength of the.
Wash your lettuce. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's
Uh,
well, a lot. Some checks and balances keep disappearing from processes, and I think that's one of the.
I'll tell you what concerned me is because I mean I went through a little bit of a bout with that an upset stomach, and I didn't know what to pin it on. I didn't know where to go and check on it, and then I had to had to switch to a diet of two prunes and a glass of Metamucil for several days to
Ouch!
yes, ouch,
I'm gurgling just thinking about that. Oh my God.
I didn't suffer from that when I was 22, so
Hmm.
I ran into some other interesting things too, Dave. I was pondering life one day while doing what? What
As
I was
is your
doing.
want. Yes.
Yeah, I was smoking a cigar. Okay, and I was pondering life, and I said, I think I discovered a way to discern someone's disposition or maybe their position by asking a simple question. And I'll ask you that question. If you had a choice between a pair of slip-on Skechers sneakers and a gun, what would you choose?
I don't have any use for a gun, so I guess I'd choose the sneakers.
I'm going straight for the sneakers.
Going straight for the sneakers.
I'm
Yeah.
going straight for the sneakers. I mean, I walk on it every day. I use it every day. It helps my feet. You know what I mean? I'm going straight for the sneakers. I'm thinking a piece of metal. What can you do with that? You know what I mean? It just sits there forever.
Nothing good.
Can't eat it.
Nothing good.
So it kind of gives me an idea where someone stands. So oh man, I'd love to have a nice pair of Skechers slip-ons. You know, those are only $100 a piece now too. So
Okay. So
so
that's
as
kind of a
part of
litmus test you're giving people here, just
that's
to
a quick
warn them.
litmus test. You can give that test. I mean, everybody has their own style, but I thought that would be my litmus test. And then while enjoying my El Gordo, which we know that's the fat one, the
The
cigar.
fat one, yeah.
Yeah, I I discovered that I'm suffering from wheys.
Can you spell that?
W not not the way of curds and whey, but
Okay.
wheys. WAYS. I'm suffering from wheys.
You have to explain that to me.
As in, to put it into perspective, as in set in my ways.
Set in your ways. Oh, well, yeah. Now I understand. Where is that causing you to struggle in the real world?
Well, it's okay in the real world. If you're set in your ways and you're on an isolated island, you can pretty much, get away with it. But if you have to interact with people and you're set in your ways, and you're maybe constrained by a spouse or something else, it poses a problem. Like, and you can't use it as an excuse. He's set in his ways.
Uh-huh. Well, I do.
Like,
I do use
why
that
is he
as an
smoking in the
excuse.
house? Because he's set in his ways.
Yeah.
That doesn't cut it.
He's old. He's stuck in his ways.
I mean, we know a very famous person who's stuck in his ways, and by being stuck in his ways, he can cause a lot of damage. The same age as us.
Famous Oh, you're getting
He's stuck in his
stuck
ways.
in his ways. Okay.
For example, how do you do laundry? Do you do laundry?
I do. I have laundry going as we speak
So
downstairs.
you do laundry.
I do.
What is your system? What in what way? You're stuck in a certain way about
Is this
laundry.
a trick question?
No.
What do? I put the clothes in. I put the soap in. I hit start. Pick my
Okay,
cycle. Hit start.
you don't have the I use the PWS system.
PWS.
First I pile the laundry up and I
Okay.
throw it in the wash. I pull it all back out of there, dry it, and stuff it back in the drawers.
Well, that's
No.
pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's okay unless somebody's special favorite dress happens to be in that pile.
Well, yeah. Yeah. That's
Now this is where set in your ways comes in. I have to change my ways about
Well,
that thing.
when I'm putting the clothes in the laundry, in the washer, and I spot something that's not mine. I have learned to say, "Do you want this in with this load?" Because I have I put some wools in with some hot stuff, and that didn't work.
So,
So,
you're
so yeah,
cautious about that.
I have learned to be conscious of that. Yeah, trial and error, strictly.
Let me ask you about this one. How do you cope with this one? We're both probably set in our ways in that we plan a departure time, right? We're going to leave at a certain time. We're going to get in the car and leave at that time, right? But it doesn't always work that way, does it?
Not always. Well, maybe 5% of the time it does.
Yeah. I mean, normally you have to go back to the house or to the garage to get something you forgot, or you just don't get to leave on the time you set. So I'm set in my ways about being punctual. But my lovely,
not everyone is the same way as you.
yeah,
It's all
I
about the
think
way.
my wife has a not a digital but an analog watch with only one hand on it, just the hour hand. So
You better hope she doesn't listen to this
yeah.
episode. You're a dead man.
So I had to change my
Dead.
ways. I had to
Uh-huh.
change my ways. So
Okay.
I challenge the listeners out there to tell us how have they changed their ways? Because you just can't pull off he's set in his ways anymore. If you say that to somebody, it's almost like an insult. You know, what I mean? It sounds like somebody is doing something that's irritating you, and when you say he's set in his ways,
All right. So this
do you
is
concur?
you're throwing the gauntlet here. You're
I am saying listeners chime in with that
chime
one.
in. Okay. Okay. All
So
right.
anyhow,
Okay.
I'm suffering from ways.
Who's set in their ways? And what do you do
Yeah.
about it? Okay. Hey, we got one more letter from afar if you want to hear that.
Yeah.
If
What's
you
up? What's coming in?
Okay, this was an interesting. We got this from a YouTube listener. And wait, speaking of YouTube, for anybody that watches our clips on YouTube, check this out. Can you see this?
I do.
You know who that is on that shirt?
I don't.
It's me. That's me.
You had a shirt made with your face on it?
My son got me this for my birthday. Yeah.
Oh, you can actually order those things?
Apparently. Yeah. So he got this for me for my birthday. He gave it to me on the Galapagos cruise, which we'll touch on later. But
Interesting.
yeah, back to we did have one note on AI here from a listener, and he says, and this is a quote. He says, "You mentioned the escape of the AI agent. It's kind of hot news today, and I'm afraid people don't realize how hot it is. After connecting to the internet a life ago, I was aware of the quote viruses and quote Trojan horses and other threats. Antivirus software, IT hygiene, etc., was and still is the background of everyday routine. And now people voluntarily install AI agents on their computers. Those agents are actually Trojan horses without any camouflage. I don't believe it. What have we done?" So there we are.
I
We
didn't
sound
know
like
you could
an
do that.
expert out there.
I didn't even know you could do that.
It's a little,
Anyhow, I don't spend much time on devices. I mean, I don't scroll. I have to use it for messages or something like that, but otherwise, I don't.
yeah.
I don't download anything.
Oh, hey, there's one other. Yeah, well, I
Oh, you.
use the
Oh.
I use the AI agent in Google searches now because it's the first thing that pops up. But
But
I'll,
you can click on that if you want,
yeah,
in my
I
view.
often scroll past that. But anyway, that's a wise listener out there who's kind of ahead of the curve versus us, I guess. So
I think it's invasive. I think AI is perfectly invasive. I do admit on Google search when I have a very, very odd question when I'm doing a puzzle, and that's always true. When I do a puzzle, I have to phrase the question in such a way that it doesn't say crossword puzzle clue.
mhm,
Otherwise, it wants me to click on that, which is usually a website. But
mhm.
if I ask AI, I have to phrase it in such a way that it'll give me the answer. You know, like what type of cheeses are mostly found in northern Italy or something.
If that's all that AI did, we'd be fine. But as we
I know.
talked about last week, there's some real scary potential outcomes here. So let's hope that some guardrails get put
Uh,
up.
on a positive note with that, I had a product that I was using, and I had a question about it, and I called the 800 number on the product line, and I spoke to a real person.
Whoa,
I
write that
spoke to
down.
a real person.
Document that.
Yeah. They opened at 9. I called it 9:01. I was number 5. I waited 7 minutes, and bada bing, bada boom, they solved my
Wow,
problem. And I said, wow,
just like the old days, huh?
I'm going to keep buying that product. So
That's great. That's wonderful. Hey, we got some other letters from afar that I forgot. Ranger Rick is back. He welcomed us back. He's sent a couple of nice notes.
I'm glad
And
he's well. Good to hear
yeah,
from him.
yeah, yeah. He asked about details for my BPH surgery. He said, you know, you really didn't go into that much at all. I'd be curious about that, Dave. And I said, well, yeah, I said and we would do that. So I will do that now. I'll go I'll go into some detail today. I won't go into complete detail. Let's put it that
For
way.
all the female listeners, what does BPH stand for?
Benign prostate hyperplasia, swollen prostate. Okay.
I know what it is, but I thought
Okay.
maybe they might know what it is
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Probably like half. We just lost half our listeners because.
so let me see how you handle this one.
Okay. Well, the procedure that I had was called aquablation. Now, it's a high pressure water jet that reams out your prostate. Okay. And again, I'm not going to get real visual here, but if you can imagine, then they do this ream out with this, you know, this water jet, not the one you clean your sidewalks with, the smaller one, but same idea.
Smaller nozzle, anyhow, that's for sure.
Smaller, smaller nozzle, and then they put a catheter in, and they pump you full of saline, the catheter full of saline solution to flush your bladder out, to flush everything out, because there's going to be bits and pieces, et cetera. So again, not a lot of detail here. So it's touted as a outpatient procedure or overnight stay. You know,
There you go.
Well, in my case, I was in the hospital 5 days. 5. I needed 2 units of packed red cells because I couldn't stop bleeding. All right, so I can smile about this now, but it was not a lot of fun. Turns out I was one of the 5% that required a transfusion during as a result of the aquablation procedure. And as you know, the recovery was longer than I liked. It took a while. I didn't, my schedule was different than the one they predicted. But I think I'm back now. Other than, I made 80, so that's a good thing.
I should also mention for Rick's amusement that I said, hey, I understand you're going to be in the hospital, and you said, yeah, I'll be there for a day or so. I said, well, I'll come down. Yeah, let me get down there. I'll come down. You said, nah, I'd probably be gone by the time you get there,
or not,
or not. Anyhow,
yeah, I do thank you for you did come in to see me.
I did came in to see you, and I said, I think I'll find him there, without a doubt. So I had a little more.
You showed some compassion.
Yeah,
you did.
I thought that.
I appreciate.
Anyhow, you made not a fun thing. I can tell you that. I'm glad you made it through.
Yeah, I'm not going to put a link to this, but you can Google it yourself if you're curious about aquablation. There's several options out there. You pay your money and you take your chance, I guess. Yeah. Hey, by the way, speaking of YouTube, that's all I'm going to say about aquablation here. If people want more details, I will, send me a note and I'll answer your questions privately. But that's enough.
Hey, I will give them all they want to know about that.
Oh yeah. Hey, by the way, we did have another note from actually a couple notes from YouTube viewers suggested you clip your nose hair. So what's that all about?
Me?
You? Something about
nose hair?
Nose hair scissors or?
Oh,
what was that?
Oh, the
I'm trying to set him up here, but I'm
the nose hair clippers. I always found that interesting too. I always wondered why old men had hair that could grow so well on their ears.
Yeah.
And their nostrils. And you think if I could only implant all that stuff on the top of my head, I'd be in business. But it is what it is. But yeah, I did invest in a device like that did not work very well. And my effort to correct that, like I mentioned earlier, with the company that made it, went very well. I was able to get a new piece of equipment to keep that under control.
There you go. Nobody really did write in about that. I just made that up because I knew you were.
Because using holding a match in your nose there to get that to burn at one time is not recommended at all.
Yeah. I find it as I lose, I'm losing
hair in your chest.
Yeah, I'm losing the hair on my head at a rapidly, exponentially increasing rate. So I'm letting it go longer here. It's everywhere else that I can get hair, I'm going to get hair to keep keep the total amount about the same. But you're right. It's Christ. It's growing out of my ears. It's growing
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
weird places. I don't know.
It's like that surprised me. You think if you only shed that hair every place on your body except the top of your head, that everybody doesn't work that way. Hey, listen, to jump onto another subject,
Yeah.
you mentioned books. I wanted to tell you that I did finish the Odyssey.
Okay. So you
Uh,
finished it.
I did finish the Odyssey. It was a translation, obviously, and I would not. I can't envision myself spending even more than an hour and a half in a movie to watch that. I got to admit that Homer had a sense of humor. Because of for example, the name. Ulysses uses a name called no one
Right.
when he.
Right.
Okay, so do you know he had some other ones names in there? There was a guy he called Inflictus Inflictus Certain Pain.
You're making this up.
No, I'm telling
You
you,
never know with you.
I started laughing when I read that myself. It's like Shatia hits the fan,
No.
and I laughed. I said he was funny because when near the end, I don't want to ruin anybody if they want to read the book. But the way they wanted to settle the dispute because after he killed all these people, the townspeople were going to be angry with him, and how he resolved that issue with a spear. So
Hmm.
it
Some
was
things haven't
interesting.
changed.
I would not have appreciated it if I had been forced to read it when I was 12 or 19 or whatever.
Hmm.
It was more humorous now, but I did finish it.
Well, good.
You have any
Great.
book ideas since I'm talking about books?
Actually, yeah, I can talk about another book. This is one of the books that I read, since the podcast went to sleep, that I really, really liked. It's called Old God's Time, and it's by Sebastian Barry, an Irish author. You start this book, it seems like it's a murder mystery, okay, and it kind of is, but it's a whole lot more than that. So we've got this guy named Tom Kettle. He's a retired detective, and he's living in his own little, cottage on the coast there. His wife is no longer alive, which you find out later. So these two young detectives from Dublin show up, ostensibly to get some help on a cold case that was active when he was still working a long time ago. And it really starts morphing into a whole lot of different things about things that happened in his past. And then the more and more you read is like, did this happen, or is he imagining this, or and then you wonder, is he starting to slip into dementia? Is he having trouble keeping reality straight? Who's alive? Who's dead? And it's a lot of kind of family secrets kind of bubble up. It's really well done. It's a lot of it's a very, very touching book. So I would
Fast read?
recommend.
Fast read?
It's a regular read. I don't know if I wouldn't call it a fast read.
Okay, so you
If
just
you
enjoyed
if
it along the way.
Yeah, I did. Old God's Time by Sebastian Barry. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's a good sign. If you enjoyed it along the way, you didn't speed through it. It wasn't one of them ones you blew through it and you enjoyed it. But you did mention something there. Is it dementia? And
Um,
I
uh,
had it. I had an incident.
Maybe you're gonna have to read. You're gonna have to read the book and decide.
Yeah, I had an incident the other day, and it reminded me of a more recent thing. Uh, it was a day where I had forgotten several things. The first thing in the morning, I'd forgotten to take some stuff out of the microwave. I made something in the microwave,
Hmm.
forgot to take it out. Then midway through the day, I ended up playing some cards with some neighbors. We were playing a game of it's called Samba, but it's uh, a progressive card game,
Okay.
and I forgot to play half my cards. And the other octogenarian said, "Oh, don't worry, it happens to the best of us." And I said, "It might happen to you folks, but it doesn't happen to me."
Never happens to me.
Yeah. Okay. So I was truly embarrassed
You were a
because
little
we
little
lost. We
shook up
lost the
about
game.
that. Yeah.
Right. And then after that, this is all in one day.
All in.
And then after that, I had a list of things to do. I wanted to get that. I wanted to check some grit on a certain type of sandpaper. I wanted to fix something. I wanted to put something away. There was something else. The fourth thing, I could not think of what it was. I could not think of what it was. And I said, oh no, this can't be happening. So I got through that day, and I'm hoping I don't have another one like that one. And then I run into a guy who's my age, who's frustrated to no end with an Apple smartphone. He
Mhm.
said, look, when I push this button here, I can see all my photos. He pushes it, and it goes to messaging. And he says, that's not right. And he's moving his thumb up and down the phone. He's going this way and that way. And he's starting to get angry. He said, I hate this thing. And he's going up and down with it. So he goes back and he starts all over again. He gets to the place, and once he pushes the button and it goes to messages. And he says, I don't understand. It was there. How did I lose it? What did you do? Did you mess my phone up? I said, hold on. Let me see your phone. So he go back and does it again, gets to the same place. I said, you're pushing the message button. You're looking for photos. Here is the word photos. And he goes, oh,
Oh, never mind.
yeah, never mind. And I'm telling you, that iPhone was way too much for him. It was absolutely way too much for him.
Not
So
uncommon. I'm not so much worried about him, but I'm a little worried about you and
I
your
was
bad
worried
day
about
you
me
had.
too.
Should I start putting feelers out for another podcast partner?
I hope you will be the one to tell me I'm going crazy first.
Or
I will trust.
I
Anybody else will
will.
say it to him. I will deny it. I'll say,
I will tell
he
you.
knows me better than anybody.
Yeah, I will
You'll let
tell
me know.
you. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
luck, all you octogenarians out there.
Well, listen, I was going to talk about my Galapagos trip, but I'm going to save that for the next
Another day.
another day. Yeah, we're kind of the clock is starting to tick here a little bit, and a couple other things we could talk about though. What about you've seen any new movie recommendations?
I've been Netflixing lately. I mean, I just did not realize the depth of that app. I had no
You
idea
didn't
it was.
realize that you had that app for years and years and years too, right?
uh,
Was
Well,
that
I
part
mean,
of memory
I
day?
knew of it, but I just never bothered. I said, no, I'm not going to watch that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the general TV programs didn't interest me when I got in there. And I mean, the topic areas, I didn't even know you could select a topic. So I'd select comedy. And man, every comedian in the
Mm-hmm.
world is there. And then all this stuff is there. And then, of course, there's the nature programs by David Attenborough. And I kind of like to watch those.
Yeah.
They're
Those are always
soothing
good.
almost.
Oh yeah, those are
Yeah.
always good. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was,
Hey, the nice
I
thing,
told you about that movie called The Tuner.
the tuner.
Yeah, we mentioned The Tuner last time
Yes,
we were talking about.
yes, yeah.
I mean, if anybody wanted to watch that one, all I would say is just pay attention because it's full of hidden clues that all comes together in the end if you figure it out. So
Hmm. I got one quick recommendation. We watched the movie Blackberry. Did you watch that on Netflix?
I saw it, but I didn't. I didn't
It's
know
a,
it was a movie. I thought it was a documentary.
it's almost a documentary.
Oh,
It's a movie, but it's pretty accurate. Okay, it's
hmm.
about it's a Canadian movie. Came out in 23. And it's about the rise and fall of BlackBerry. If you remember the
Hmm.
Blackberries
Yeah,
that were the
all the
greatest thing,
rage.
all the rage. People called them crackberries because you were addicted to them.
Yeah.
So they just skyrocketed in popularity, and and then all of a sudden, Apple introduced the iPhone,
Yeah,
and that was the beginning of the end
that was
for
the beginning of
BlackBerry.
the end.
But it's a really good movie to watch. I checked on it. It got good accuracy reviews. These characters, you got these two kind of geeky guys, engineers, real smart engineers. They come across a guy who's a super salesman. He quits his job, joins the company. It's really well done. So I would recommend that.
I think a long time ago, I mentioned the book, the Glock, the American gun.
Yeah.
There was a book. They never made a movie about it, but it was very similar. fascinating story about the right time, the right people, the right marketing. And you think, boy, you put all those pieces together, it just becomes, now it's ubiquitous. Obviously, that one didn't go away. So, well, okay. Well, there's two recommendations for both of them on Netflix, or one of them was actually on Prime.
And hey, I would encourage everybody to read the show notes, because we put links to a lot of these things. So we'll put a link to the movies and the books. I think we did put a link to the Odyssey last week, or at least the movie clip. I think it was, maybe not the book. So I'll follow up that. But I got and we always put a music video as a bonus at the end, a link to a music video. Now that's my idea. I'll take responsibility for that one, because we had some comments from the one that I put on last episode, which was, "Do you realize?" I don't know if you listened to it. You didn't listen to it, did you?
Not to the very end, no.
Okay. Well, it's basically about, you're going to die. All right, we're all going to die. And so one of our listeners in particular said, why do you put a song out about dying? Well, the point of the song is not about dying. It's about, you're going to die. So you sure
live. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Have a good life now, because the people you know are going to be gone, and you're going to be gone. So anyway, that was what kind of the message I was trying to put across. So this week I'm trying to do something a little more upbeat. It's a video about heroin addiction. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now to clarify this is Lou Reed, and the song is "Waiting for My Man." And he's done this, this song forever. The whole theory is it is about a guy who's he's a junkie, and he's waiting for the dealer to show up, and he's got money, and so it's pretty depressing on its own. But just watch this video. This was made, I think, in 2011, 2012. It was recorded in Prague at a concert that he and his band were doing there. And just watch it, how totally into the song each of the musicians is. They are just having such a ball. They're having so much fun doing this song. You forget what the whole topic is, because these guys they're just so happy doing this. So I would say, please watch the Lou Reed video at the end of the show notes, and tell us what you think of that one.
Well, I guess on that note, we'll just have to thank all our listeners for checking in with the old Bucks, and please don't hesitate to write to us, because we can use your thoughts on these things. I mean, I'm mostly right on what I say. I could change my ways, you know what I mean? I'm not set in my ways. We have to adapt, so we'll adapt to you.
Okay.
Anyhow, this is Old Buck Dale saying, it's a pleasure. Thanks for listening.
This is Old Buck Day right behind him saying, yes, it is. It's good to be back, and keep those cards and letters coming in, folks. We love you all. Bye.